Does it ever happen that you're exhausted, burnt out, and that animation you were really looking forward to making just isn't happening? I get it. After a long day of work, chores, maybe even dealing with kids, your brain is mush, but you really, really, really wanted to get creative tonight. So you sit down to animate, only nothing comes. You've got no ideas, no energy, and on top of that, you're thinking, if it's not even going to be good, what's the point? But here's the number one thing I remind myself when I'm in that state. Animation doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to move and it has to bring you joy. So this past week, I tested a bunch of super simple ideas and came up with 3 that you can do in under an hour. These helped me get out of my own head and just make something and feel good about myself. And today, I am sharing them with you for when you are really burnt out, you're exhausted, and you just don't know what to do. I am sharing it. Starting with the one that I never expected to make in a million years because I'm not a gamer. You want to see what it is? I really was not expecting to make this, but this Pac-Man animation started off as a simple yellow dot. Just moving across the screen. I was playing around with some other dot animations to show you as like one of those things that I was testing as a possible animation that you could make in really small time. And then this cropped up as an idea, just a yellow ball moving across the screen. And I looked at it and was like, all right, let's add the mouth and the eye and the other dots because I think he's always eating something. I actually had to ask my husband, who plays games a lot, whether Pac-Man actually ate things in the game or if I was misremembering. And an interesting fact, I actually started by animating this on 12s. And then to get more of that choppy old game school feeling, I actually took the frame rate down and it's animating on 6. And I think it still looks pretty good. And well, what do you think? This leads into the biggest reason why people and creatives, you, me, we have such a hard time animating when we're burnt out and we want to make something perfect. And the perfectionism is our problem because we're trying to make it perfect. But when you're at that point where you're just exhausted and you want to create, you can't really do that. The entire point is just to get something to move across the screen. And this really just shows that. Because all this is a yellow dot moving across the screen. It's not using ease in, ease out, squash, stretch. It is moving across the screen at the exact same pace. The drawings are all evenly spaced, but it still looks like a good animation, probably due to storytelling, nostalgia, and probably a few other things that I can't remember off the top of my head. I was debating on showing the whole process of how I made this animation and all the others coming up, but I didn't want to take up all your time, especially if you're watching this on a break or if you're tired and you're just waiting to get into animating. That said, if you do want an in-depth tutorial on any of these, let me know. I'm open to making that video in the future. I'm just still very new to YouTube and I'm not really sure what you want to watch or what's going to be helpful to you. Making a Pac-Man animation is fun, but what else can you do in under an hour? Well, number 2 is a basic exercise that you may have done hundreds of times, but it has a twist to it. You want to see what it is? This is it. All it is taking your typical bouncing ball, going up and down. You add 2 more circles for eyes, give it a little expression, a little blink, and you have a character. And that's the reason why I love this one so much, because I personally love characters and I would love to do more character animation. Character animation, full character animation is a huge lift, and it's not something you can do, or at least not something I can do, when I'm completely exhausted and bombed out of my mind. But just animating a ball, animating some eyes, it's something that's very easy and something that I can easily do. And if you don't believe how dynamic this can be, let me show you 2 other animations I did with the same idea, and I did them in under 30 minutes each. And now I get to share the final animation. This is one of the trickiest ones that I made. I had never done anything like this before, and I really, really, really wanted to make this flower grow as perfectly as possible. But if you're going to attempt this, the best piece of advice that I can give you that I had to give myself while I was doing this is it's not about it being perfect. It's about growing, and it's an organic life form, which means there's no right or wrong way to draw it or animate it. Your flower can open however you want. The stem can twist or it can just shoot up. There's a bunch of different ways that you can take this to make it simple for you, and as long as you don't overthink it or try to making it perfect, you just build on this animation skills that you already have. What's one of the ones that I used here? Timing with the stem, overshoot with the flower petals opening. The entire point of these simple animations is that you can do it in the amount of time that you have. in your life, because life is busy, life is hectic, and you should still be able to animate. Because if you don't end up animating, it can feel like such a creative suck because this is your passion. The point isn't to make the perfect animation, the perfect drawing, the perfect anything. The point is to get it moving and to feel like you're building on your skills, and that what you have at the end of the night is not perfect, but it's something that you can be proud of and you can point out when you look through it and say, I actually did that. And it's not bad. And this is just my opinion. When you leave behind the perfectionism, you're able to focus on moving forward. It's almost backwards, but I really have found this to be true since having kids, since trying to figure out how to animate when I have pretty much no time. If you made it to this point, I have a bonus for you as a thank you for watching the video. In the beginning of this video, I told you I was testing a bunch of ideas. The ones that I showed you here were the ones that I was able to do in under that hour mark. But I did make a bunch of others that just didn't make a cut. So that means that I now can show them to you as a little bonus. If you're looking for more inspiration or tips, you can join my email list using the link below.